may not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me. So I don't plan on stopping at all. I want this forever mine, ever mine, ever mine. I'm shutting down in the mall and telling that girl she the one for me. And I ain't even planning to call. I want this forever mine, ever.
Welcome to Let's Talk NBA Edition. I am here with Levi Port. We have a lot to discuss today.
Yes, we do, Eli.
Let's start with surprising teams in the East. Who is the most surprising team for you in the East? Good or bad?
Well, the East has been very interesting this year because, like every year, the East has a lot of mediocre teams.
Yeah.
Very different than the West. And so a team that's number one in the East now and has just really blown everyone away is the Hawks.
Definitely the Hawks.
There's no one like the Atlanta Hawks right now. This is a team that barely made the playoffs last year. And this is a team that's not gained players, but lost. Paul Millsap is older. Al Horford's coming off an injury. Jeff Teague is playing out of his mind.
Amazing.
One of the best point guards in the league. It's just incredible what they've done. And their bench has really been the key. They just have a better bench than most teams.
For sure. My team, I have to go with in a bad way, the Cleveland Cavaliers. This team was expected to, maybe they could have gone undefeated by this point, but they're definitely not playing up to potential. I think there's a chemistry issue with Kevin Love, Kyrie, and LeBron.
I hate to say this because everyone was excited for them, but I have to agree. I think they're a team on the decline. I think David Blatt, I think it's unfortunately a little bit his fault. He's not splitting the minutes very well. He's giving all of his best player, he's making them play the whole game. We can see it's taking its toll on the players. Kyrie's been out a couple games. Kevin has. LeBron is now out for 2 weeks. So it's taking its toll on these players. He has a good bench. It's not like they struggle on the bench.
Yeah, I mean,
they have Sean Marion, a good veteran.
They have Dion Waiters. I mean, they have guys. I think they're like the Lakers a few years ago when they got Dwight Howard and Steve Nash.
That's a great comparison. I mean, these guys are a little more talented.
Yeah. But everybody thought the Lakers would become the dream team, but they're not. And since then they've gone downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the West. Surprising teams there.
And this West has been unbelievable. All the new coaches have been remarkable. Steve Kerr, and just everyone. It's been incredible.
Yes.
But it's going to come down to the wire. But for the playoff time. But I have to go with the Grizzlies on this one. I know everyone's like Golden State and stuff, but the Grizzlies are really interesting because the Warriors has had talent for a while. The Grizzlies, I really thought were a team on the decline. They're much older. Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol. They're not in their prime anymore. Yeah. And yet somehow this team is one of the best in the West.
It's crazy. I know you mentioned the Golden State Warriors. Everybody thinks that. I also think that, but there's another team I'll talk to in a sec. Draymond Green, been amazing this year. He's one of the breakout players. I like that they moved Iguodala to the bench.
I love that move. Perfect. Great move.
And Curry is just fantastic.
He's MVP candidate.
Definitely. I think he is the MVP candidate, and I think he will be the MVP. But maybe Harden has a great case. Another team I'd like to bring up is the Portland Trail Blazers.
This team always surprises us. Damian Lillard has turned into one of the best point guards in the league.
Yes.
Very young guy. LaMarcus Aldridge.
I love
always
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Love him.
They have
Wesley Matthews, one of the most underrated players in the NBA.
Yes.
They have a very strong team.
And I know Lopez is injured, but they have depth. They have a great bench.
Thomas Robinson has been a breakout player this year.
They have a great bench. Chris Kaman, Steve Blake, Thomas Robertson, Dorrell Wright. They're stacked. I have to give it to them.
Yeah, they are. Next question.
Basically same question, but instead of teams, players. So, who do you think is the most surprising player in the East?
I was talking about the Hawks, and I have to go with them because this team is really breaking out. It's crazy.
But who's your player?
I know, that's what I'm saying. So it has to be on the Hawks player, and I have to go with Jeff Teague. This guy has been a crazy story.
Definitely.
All his years in the NBA, he's been mediocre at best point guard. You know, he hasn't started a lot. He's been on a team that's been on the decline. And all of a sudden this year, he breaks out, and he's been averaging, 17 points a game. He's really led this team. And in a team that's on the decline, he's risen them up, and now they're one of the top in the East.
Yes. My player, I think a lot of people have noticed him this year. He's averaging 21.9 points per game, going from a career of just 10.7. This man is from the Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler. He's crazy good this year.
Oh, yes. That is a great pick. This guy he's now an MVP consideration. It's crazy what he's done.
I still don't think he will get it yet, but I think in a couple of years he could be one of the elite players of the game.
I completely agree. I think that is a correct assessment, and he's proven it with his defense and his offense.
Definitely. So, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will give our all-star team, basically our starting lineups, and also our predictions for all the awards and NBA Finals. We'll be right back after the break.
Your presentation of national sports is brought to you by Spreaker.com. Broadcast and listen to news, radio, and music with one low monthly rate. Your show will be right back after this word from your local stations. You can contact National Sports in a number of ways through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter with the label National Sports. We love to have you guys a part of our show and can easily join us also through text or call. You're listening to the National Sports radio station on Spreaker.com. America's pastime, changing as we know.
Last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Started off local, but thanks to all the haters, I know G4 pilots on a first name basis. In your city, faded off the brown. Nino, she insists she got more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. We did forget a question. Who is your most surprising player in the West?
I have to go. There are a lot of interesting players here because of Golden State and Memphis, but I have to go with Eric Bledsoe. This is a guy who, going into the season, had a lot of contract negotiations with a Phoenix team that's just not willing him to give the money he wants and deserves. Now, they really have a lot of depth there too. Going into the season, no one knew if any of these players would find success with four really good guards in Isaiah Thomas, Goran Dragic, Eric Bledsoe, Tyler Ennis. They're really young and they have very good guards. But Eric Bledsoe was really surprised. He's been a starter throughout the whole season, and he has 2 triple-doubles on the season, which is incredible. First two of his career. This guy has really lit it up, and Phoenix wouldn't be where it is without him.
Definitely. I agree 100%. Another guy, it's funny how the pattern worked here, but another guy I was thinking was the bench point guard for the Clippers last year who was traded to Sacramento, Darren Collison. He's been a huge part of the Sacramento Kings this year.
You're right. And Coach Tyrone Corbin has even said himself that this Sacramento Kings team wouldn't be where it is without without Darren Collison. He's just been such a great player for them.
Yeah.
And for the Clippers last year, he didn't really do what they wanted. He wasn't the man for the job. But he really proved that he is for these Kings, and most people were surprised with that signing. But I agree with you there. He's been a surprise player this year.
Definitely, he is averaging 16.4 points a game. That's pretty good for a guy who's still breaking out. Now let's go to who do you think will be the starters who do you think should be the starters for the Eastern Conference?
This is a tough one because there's so many great players this year, but I have to go with so the East.
Let's start center. Let's start there.
I have to go with Pau Gasol.
Yes.
On a Bulls team that has just really shown that they're the real deal, possibly even a championship this year. Pau Gasol has been one of the main factors. He's averaging almost 20 points a game. This guy is just living it up, rebounding, shooting, blocking. He's looking like the player he was in his prime for the Lakers, and it's exciting to see for these Bulls fans, and I think he deserves to be a starting center there.
For my starting center, I may go to the same team, Chicago Bulls, and why not Noah? Sorry. I just realized he is not having a great season, but I don't really know who to pick for center, so I'm probably just going to go with Pau Gasol.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for the East in the big man wise, but
even power forwards.
Power forward. I'll just go down my list and explain why. I think power forward Chris Bosh. We were just talking about hasn't really been a lot of good big men this year. So I think Chris Bosh, in the absence of LeBron, has really taken up his opportunities and using them well. I mean, injuries have limited him, but when he plays, he's been a dominant force. And at small forward, of course, LeBron. I think he's still the best player in the world right now. Even though he's injured, I think he should be there.
He may come back in time.
Yeah. And I like, for shooting guard, this is your surprise player, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Of course, we talked about him. This guy deserves to be starting shooting guard there. And for point guard, this was a tough one. I was thinking about, Kyrie Irving. And Rondo when he was Celtic. There were many things to think about here. Jeff Teague, but I think I have to go with Kyle Lowry.
That was who I was going to say, hands down.
Yeah, this Raptors team is number 1 in the East right now. And DeMar DeRozan has been out the whole year.
Yeah.
And it's all been because of Kyle Lowry. Without this guy, they wouldn't be where they are right now. And I think that's my 5 for the East.
I have to agree. Mostly, actually. I would have at center Chris Bosh. I like Chris Bosh better at center than Pau Gasol, but I'd have Pau Gasol at power forward. Great season for Pau so far.
Yeah, I agree. Pau's best suited as a power forward in this situation. Chris would be preferred center there.
This may be a surprise to you, but actually, no, it's not a surprise if LeBron isn't there, but I'm going to go with Carmelo to start for small forward.
Wow, that is a surprise.
To be honest, if LeBron wasn't injured and if he will start, I would, instead of doing Pau and Chris, I'd replace one of them and go LeBron and Carmelo.
Wow.